Daniel meets Lyla. Daniel, 25 years, wasn't a man who fell in love easily. He wasn't impulsive, reckless, or naive. He lived carefully, intentionally, with both feet planted firmly on solid ground. People who knew him often described him as steady, stable, someone you could depend on. The type of man who always took the longer, safer route just to avoid disappointing anyone. And for most of his life, that steadiness served him well. Until he met Lyla, a 22-year-old beauty. She arrived like a spark in a dry forest, unexpected, mesmerizing, dangerous. She didn't walk into his life. She swept into it, like a gust of warm wind that carried both perfume and wildfire. Where Daniel was quiet, she was loud. Where he was grounded, she was unpredictable. Where he was steady, she was chaos wrapped in beauty and laughter. Daniel had never been noticed so intensely before. And Lyla didn't just notice him, she consumed him. She looked at him the way no one ever had, like he was a story she wanted to read again and again. And for a man who had spent most of his life feeling invisible, that type of attention felt like oxygen. He didn't know it then, but it would eventually become the poison too. The initial attraction. They first met on a warm evening at a friend's gathering. Music played softly, and small clusters of people talked over wine and snacks. Daniel stood near the balcony, sipping quietly, hoping no one would drag him into conversations. He was comfortable observing. And then she walked in. Lyla. She laughed a little too loudly, smiled a little too broadly, carried herself with the energy of someone who refused to dim their light for anyone. Heads turned, not because she demanded attention, but because her presence created a gravitational pull. Daniel noticed her before she noticed him, and he wished he hadn't. She scanned the room, quickly bored, until her eyes landed on him. The quiet man in the corner, the one who seemed far away despite being only a few feet from everyone else. She walked toward him without hesitation, without permission, without fear. "You look like you want to disappear," she said. Daniel blinked. "Is it that obvious?" Painfully, she smiled. "I'm Lyla." "Daniel," he said. "Well, Daniel," she said, leaning in slightly. "Lucky for you, I happen to be an expert in dragging introverts out of corners." He laughed despite himself. And that laugh was the first cut in the armor he had carefully built his whole life. They started talking. 4 hours. Daniel felt something he hadn't felt in years. Seen. Lyla asked questions, but more importantly, she listened, or at least appeared to. When Daniel spoke, she held eye contact with the intensity of someone memorizing every detail. When he shared something personal, she reacted like it mattered. And when he hesitated, she urged him gently, "Tell me. I want to know." No one had ever said that to him before. He didn't notice the warning signs. How closely she leaned in. How she mirrored his every sentence with her own dramatic story. How she complimented him too quickly, too deeply, too soon. "You're different," she whispered at one point. Daniel smiled shyly. "Why do you say that?" "Because most men want to impress me," she said. "You just exist. And somehow that impresses me more." It sounded like a blessing. In reality, it was the beginning of the emotional hook she'd sink into him over the months to come. The subtle red flags. The early weeks of their relationship were intoxicating. Lyla texted him constantly, called him late at night, sent him messages like, "I feel like I've known you forever. You make me feel safe. Don't disappear on me, okay?" Daniel, who had always been disciplined with boundaries, suddenly found himself rearranging his schedule for her. missing family dinners, leaving work early, sleeping late because Lyla wanted to talk. She made him feel like he was finally living, and he mistook intensity for intimacy. When she asked for more time, he gave it. When she asked for more attention, he gave it. When she hinted she didn't like certain female friends of his, he slowly created distance. When she said his job was boring, he laughed, as if her criticism didn't hurt. She became his priority. He became her possession. But Daniel didn't see it yet. He saw devotion, dedication, love. Love, he told himself, demands sacrifice. He didn't know that obsession demands more. The change begins, but it was smooth at first. Lyla started getting annoyed when he didn't reply fast enough. "Are you busy? Why didn't you answer? You always say you're tired. Are you bored of me?" Daniel apologized every time. He didn't want to lose her. He didn't realize losing himself was far worse. She began interrupting his workday with long emotional phone talk. Daniel tried to keep up, but eventually his performance at work dropped. His boss noticed. His co-workers whispered. But Daniel didn't care. Lyla needed him. One night, she said the words that would change everything. "Daniel, if you loved me, you'd show me I come first." He froze. "What do you mean?" "Your job takes you away from me. Your family takes you away. Everyone takes pieces of you and leaves nothing for me." "That's not true." "It is," she insisted. "I want to be your world, Daniel. Not a part of it. All of it." He should have run. Instead, he surrendered, because love to him meant devotion, and devotion to her meant control. His world shrinks. When Daniel's downfall started, his family noticed the change first. He stopped attending gatherings, stopped returning calls, stopped showing up for small traditions he once loved. When his sister asked why he had changed, he said, "Lyla needs me." When his mother said she missed him, he replied, "I'll visit soon." He never did. Family became optional. Lyla became oxygen. And with each sacrifice, she grew more confident in her hold on him. One afternoon, Daniel's boss called him into the office. "You're distracted. Your work is slipping. We need you fully here, Daniel." Daniel knew it was true. But before he could promise improvement, his phone buzzed. Lyla. He excused himself to answer. "I need you," she whispered, crying. "Please, don't leave me alone today." His boss watched him walk away, watched him choose, watched him lose. By the end of the month, Daniel had resigned. He told people it was for mental health. "The truth," Lyla said, "if you love me, be here." And he obeyed. Career sacrifice. Suddenly, Daniel had no job. No career path. No stability. Lyla reacted not with gratitude, but expectation. "Good. Now you can focus on us." Daniel, jobless and drifting, began clinging even harder to her, believing she was the only thing he had left. But obsession is a fire. After quitting his job, Daniel expected Lyla to be proud, happy even. He imagined she'd pull him into her arms and whisper, "Now we can build our life together." But instead, her reaction was alarmingly neutral. "That's good," she said, scrolling through her phone. "You won't be so stressed all the time." It felt less like appreciation and more like confirmation that he was now where she wanted him, fully available, fully dependent, fully hers. Daniel tried to ignore the sinking feeling in his chest, the quiet whisper that said something about this was wrong. But he silenced it, telling himself love required sacrifice. He started waking up later, drifting through his mornings without direction. Lyla became his schedule, her needs, her moods, her desires. If she wanted breakfast, he made it. If she wanted company, he stayed. If she wanted space, he waited in silence. Days blurred into each other. Nights felt too long. Weeks passed with nothing accomplished. And slowly, the world outside of Lyla became unreachable. His mother called less. His friends stopped trying. His sister left messages he didn't return. He didn't notice the loneliness creeping in. He didn't recognize the isolation tightening around him. He thought he was choosing love. But in truth, he was being emptied. Lyla's possessiveness grew quietly. One day she sat on the sofa, eyes narrowed. "Who's Anna?" "Anna? She's just an old friend. Delete her number. I don't like the way you talk about her." He complied. Another day. "Why did you like that girl's picture?" "I didn't even notice." "Unlike it. And stop following girls you don't know." "I'm serious." He unfollowed everyone she mentioned. Then, the most dangerous move. "Don't leave the house without telling me. It makes me anxious." At first, Daniel thought she was being vulnerable, letting him close to her feelings. He promised to keep her updated. He texted her before he left the house, again when he reached the grocery store, again when he returned. But each concession became another brick in the prison he didn't know he was building. When he wanted to meet an old friend, she said, "I don't feel good about it." When he wanted to visit his parents, she cried, "You don't love me enough." And he stayed. Always, he stayed. Love to him meant putting her first. But she had rewritten the definition. To love her meant abandoning anything that didn't serve her. One afternoon, Daniel overheard Lyla on the phone. Her tone was different. Light, flirtatious, excited. He paused in the hallway, listening without meaning to. "Yeah, I miss you too," she giggled softly. "No, Daniel's not here." "No, he won't come." "Okay, tonight then." The words felt like daggers. He froze. His breath caught. His heart shook violently inside his chest. When she ended the call, he quietly retreated to the kitchen, pretending he'd just walked in. When she saw him, she smiled, a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "You're home early." Daniel tried to swallow his pain. "Who were you talking to?" She frowned instantly. "Are you spying on me now?" "No, I just heard." "You're being controlling," she snapped. "Controlling." The irony burned. Daniel backed away. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean. You never trust me. Why are you trying to start a fight?" He apologized. Even though it was her betrayal he had felt radiating through the thin walls. And just like that, the truth slipped into the shadows. It consumes what feeds it. Soon, it began consuming him too. The night she doesn't come home. Weeks later, Lyla didn't come home. At first Daniel told himself not to overthink. Maybe she was with a friend. Maybe she needed space. Maybe her phone had died. But as hours passed, unease became fear. Fear became anxiety. Anxiety became heartbreak. He called. No answer. He texted. No reply. By 3 a.m., panic had taken over. He walked around the apartment like a ghost, checking every door, every window, every shadow. At 4:15 a.m., he heard the key turn. Lyla entered as if nothing was wrong, hair messy, lipstick faded, heels in her hand. "Where were you?" His voice was shaking. She looked at him with cold annoyance. "Don't start. Lyla, please." She brushed past him, heading toward the bedroom. He grabbed her arm gently. "Can we talk?" She yanked her arm back. "Don't touch me when you're angry." "I'm not angry. I'm worried." "You're suffocating me," she screamed. Daniel stepped back, horrified. "I'm not trying to. You make everything about you. I needed space." He stared at her, confusion and heartbreak tangled in his chest. "I've given you everything." She smirked bitterly. "Not enough." Then she walked into the bedroom and slammed the door. Daniel stood in the hallway, tears forming, reality unraveling. For the first time, he saw what he had become. A man begging for crumbs of love, from someone who enjoyed starving him. The next days were torture. Lyla became distant, irritable, dismissive. She rarely looked at him, rarely touched him, rarely acknowledged his presence. Yet she still demanded everything: his time, his emotional energy, his loyalty. Daniel tried harder. Cooked her favorite meals, cleaned the apartment, left long, heartfelt messages. Nothing changed. One evening, he found her suitcase open on the bed. "Are you leaving?" he whispered. She didn't look at him. "I need time." Daniel felt the ground shift beneath him. Time for what? For myself. His heart cracked. "So, is this about someone else?" She paused. Her silence was louder than any confession. When she finally spoke, her voice was icy. "You've changed, Daniel. I changed because of you." She zipped the suitcase. "And that's the problem." She left. Just like that. No explanations. No closure. No apology. Daniel waited by the window for hours. Then days. He called. He texted. He begged. Nothing. Silence grew heavier than grief. He stopped eating. Stopped sleeping. Stopped talking. He sat for long hours on the couch, staring at the door, half believing she might return. He whispered to himself in the dark, "What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? Who am I without her?" Every night felt like drowning in memories of someone who had already forgotten him. Daniel's world collapsed completely the day he received a text. Not from Lyla, but from someone else. A stranger. "Hey, I thought you should know. Lyla is with me. She said you two weren't serious." Daniel dropped the phone. His chest tightened painfully. He gasped for breath. His knees buckled. It felt like his heart ripped open. Everything he gave. His time, his love, his career, his life. Meant nothing. She had taken it all. And walked away. Without a second thought. Daniel lay on the floor, tears streaming, whispering to the ceiling. "I gave you everything, and you left me with nothing." The pain was so immense. He couldn't tell where it ended, and where he existed. broken in the quiet. For days, Daniel didn't move from the couch. The apartment felt wrong now, filled with her scent but emptied of her presence. Every corner carried a memory. Every shadow echoed her absence. He tried to sleep but kept jolting awake, expecting to hear her footsteps, her voice, her laughter. But there was nothing. Only silence. Heavy, merciless, suffocating. He replayed their entire relationship like a movie in his mind, each scene punctured with a new realization he now recognized. She didn't love me. She loved what I sacrificed. He whispered the words aloud, testing their weight. Each time he said them, they shattered something inside him. He didn't go outside, didn't open the curtains, didn't shower, didn't eat. Time blurred into a fog of grief. He had lost her. But in truth, he had lost himself long before. On the fourth day of his isolation, his phone rang. He stared at the screen for a long moment. It was his sister. Daniel let it ring. He didn't have the strength. It rang again, then again, and again. Finally, he answered. "Daniel." Her voice cracked with worry. He tried to speak, but the words got stuck in his throat. A small sound escaped, half breath, half sob. "Oh my God. Daniel, are you okay? Talk to me." He leaned his head back against the couch, eyes closing. "I think I'm losing my mind. Where are you?" "At home. I'm coming over." "No, don't," he whispered, ashamed of his undone state. I don't want you to see me like this." "Daniel," she said firmly, "you're my brother. I don't care if you've fallen apart. I'm coming." He didn't argue. He didn't have the strength to pretend he was fine. For the first time in months, he felt a small piece of humanity reach him through the darkness. When his sister arrived, she gasped at the sight of him. He looked hollowed out, eyes sunken, hair messy, clothes wrinkled. The room was dim, the air stale, dishes piled, food untouched. It was the apartment of a man who had stopped participating in his own life. She sat beside him silently. For a long moment, they didn't speak. Then Daniel finally broke. The tears came in violent waves, shaking his entire body. He clutched his sister's sleeve like a drowning man grabbing the last piece of floating wood. "She left," he choked. "She left, and I don't know who I am anymore." His sister wrapped her arms around him, tears filling her own eyes. "Oh, Daniel, I'm so sorry. I gave her everything," he cried. "I lost my job, my family, my friends, everything. And she didn't care. She just left." His sister held him until the storm subsided. Then she said gently, "You didn't lose us, Daniel. You pushed us away. But we've always been here." He shook his head helplessly. "I don't know how to come back." "You start with one thing," she whispered. "Just one." Daniel's sister helped him open the curtains. Light poured in, and he flinched at the brightness. She cleaned the dishes, made him tea, sat with him in the quiet. "You need someone to talk to," she said. "A professional, not just us." Daniel frowned. "I don't want therapy." "I know. But you need it." He didn't argue. He didn't agree either. But later that night, after she left, he found himself staring at the therapist number she sent him. His hands trembled. He almost deleted it. Instead, he saved it. That was his first step. The day of the appointment, Daniel almost didn't go. He stood in front of the mirror, shaving for the first time in days. His reflection startled him. Pale, tired, older. He looked like a man who had lived a decade of pain in just months. He arrived at the therapist's office early. Sat in the waiting area, tapping his foot, chest tightening. Maybe he should leave. Maybe he wasn't ready. But when the therapist, Dr. Hale, called his name, Daniel stood and followed. "What brings you in?" The question was gentle. Daniel stared at the floor. His voice was barely a whisper. "I lost myself in someone. And now I don't know how to find myself again." Dr. Hale nodded with understanding. "Tell me about her." And for the first time, Daniel told the whole truth. The intensity, the manipulation, the sacrifices, the humiliations, the abandonment, the aftermath. He cried, not loud, but deeply. Quiet, broken sobs that came from a place he hadn't let anyone see before. When he finished, Dr. Hale said something that cut through the fog. "You didn't love her, Daniel. You depended on her. And dependency is not love. It's captivity." Daniel felt the truth land harsh and heavy. Therapy became a weekly ritual. Each session peeled back another layer. The childhood wounds, the need for validation, the fear of disappointing others, the habit of overgiving, the absence of boundaries, the hunger for affection he never received growing up. Daniel began to understand that Lyla wasn't an accident. She was a symptom of deeper wounds. He wasn't just grieving her. He was grieving the version of himself he lost while trying to keep her. That grief was heavier than heartbreak. At Dr. Hale's urging, Daniel created a structure for his healing. Morning walks, even when they felt meaningless. Cooking simple meals, writing in a journal, reaching out to one family member a week, applying for part-time work, rebuilding his sleep cycle. The progress was slow, painfully slow, but each small act stitched him back together. He still thought about Lyla, still dreamed about her, still woke up some nights reaching for a hand that was no longer there. Healing didn't erase her. It just stopped letting her break him. One night, Daniel sat with his phone in hand. He opened a blank message. "I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry for everything. I miss you." His thumb hovered over send. Then he pictured her laughing with someone else, telling them he was too much, too emotional, too available. He pictured himself going again, back into dependency, back into pain, back into the version of himself he fought so hard to escape. He deleted the message. That was the night Daniel realized. Healing isn't only about moving forward. It's about choosing not to go backward. The small victories began as the weeks passed. Then months. Daniel found a new job, modest, but stable. He reconnected with his parents. He celebrated his nephew's birthday. He started sleeping without nightmares. He began taking care of himself not out of obligation, but out of respect. He didn't recognize this new version of himself, but he liked him. And for the first time in a long time, he wasn't living for someone else. He was living for Daniel. Feel like emptiness anymore. He woke up and opened the curtains without forcing himself to. He made breakfast without feeling the heaviness in his chest. He watered the plant his sister gave him, a small one, stubbornly alive, just like him. And for the first time in months, he didn't feel like he was simply surviving the day. He felt present in it. He still carried scars, emotional ones that tugged at him during quiet moments. But the wounds were no longer bleeding. He was no longer broken. Just healing. And healing, he learned, was not weakness. It was courage. The encounter. The unexpected encounter happened on a late afternoon as Daniel walked home from work. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across the street. People strolled by, wrapped in conversations and laughter. Daniel felt peaceful, almost invisible, and for once, that invisibility felt comforting, not lonely. Then he saw her, Lyla, standing outside a small cafe, stirring a cup of coffee, looking around anxiously as if waiting for someone. Daniel froze. It was as if time folded in on itself. A wave of memories hitting him so suddenly he had to steady his breath. For a moment, he thought of turning away, running, hiding, but he didn't. Instead, he walked forward slowly, as if confronting the ghost that once haunted him. Lyla looked up, and when her eyes met his, something flickered across her face. Surprise, then discomfort, then something he hadn't expected, regret. "Daniel," she whispered. He nodded gently. "Hi, Lyla." She hesitated, then gave a soft smile that didn't match the confidence she once wore like armor. "You look different," she said. "So do you." There was an awkward pause. "How have you been?" she asked. Daniel studied her face. She wore makeup, but it couldn't hide the exhaustion around her eyes. She looked older, not by age, but by consequence. "I've been good," he said honestly. "Working, healing, rebuilding." Lyla swallowed, emotions flickering. "That's good. I'm glad." She hesitated again. "Daniel, I never meant to hurt you like that." He wasn't sure whether he believed her. But surprisingly, he no longer needed to. "I know," he said softly. "And I forgive you." Lila's eyes widened. It was not the answer she expected. "You forgive me?" she repeated, almost doubting. Daniel nodded. "Yes. Not for you, for me." She looked away, jaw tightening. "Daniel, I made mistakes. I wasn't in a good place then. I didn't know how to love someone without ruining it." He didn't respond. She continued, her voice cracking slightly. "You were good to me. Too good, maybe. I should have." "It's okay," he interrupted gently. "We were both lost in different ways." Lyla blinked away a tear. "Are you seeing anyone now?" Daniel thought for a long moment. "No," he said. "I'm learning to see myself first." She nodded slowly, understanding more than she wanted to admit. Before he turned to leave, Lyla whispered, "Daniel, I'm sorry." He looked into her eyes, once the source of his addiction, the chaos of his downfall. And with calm certainty, he replied, "I hope you find peace too." Then he walked away. She didn't follow. She didn't call after him. She simply stood there, watching the man she once consumed. Now walking freely into a life she no longer had the power to control. And that was closure. Not dramatic, not loud, just enough. Redemptive ending. Daniel didn't cry afterward, didn't shake. He didn't worsen. Instead, he exhaled. A long, deep, cleansing breath. The kind that comes when chains finally fall away after years of being shackled. That night, he sat outside on his balcony, staring up at the stars. The sky felt bigger. His chest felt lighter. His life felt possible again. He thought of everything he had lost. His job, his stability, his direction, his confidence. But then he thought of everything he had regained. His clarity, his family, his sense of worth, his identity. Lyla hadn't stolen those things from him. He had given them away. But now, slowly, he was taking them back. Piece by piece, breath by breath, day by day. Over the next months, things improved even more. He was promoted at work, his boss praising his reliability and growth. He reconnected with old friends who welcomed him back with warmth rather than judgment. He joined a local community group, volunteered, met new people, laughed more, lived more. And one day, without planning it, he caught his reflection in a shop window and paused. His posture was stronger, his eyes clearer, his expression peaceful. He didn't look like a man who had been destroyed by love. He looked like a man rebuilt. The final realization. One evening, Daniel sat by the window with a cup of tea, watching the city lights flicker like distant stars. He thought about Lyla, but not with longing, not with pain, not with regret. He thought of her with understanding. She was not the villain of his story. She was the mirror that revealed his wounds, the test that exposed his thresholds, the storm that forced him to learn shelter. Her departure didn't break him. It freed him. And Daniel finally understood the truth. He hadn't lost everything for love. He had lost everything for lack of self-love. Now, he was rebuilding with boundaries, self-respect, and a heart anchored in strength instead of desperation. He whispered into the quiet, "I am enough." And for the first time, he believed it. Please subscribe to our channel